Welcome to Xero Hero, a short video blog from HBA Encompass aimed to make your Xero journey easier. Please note that all the slides today have been created from existing Xero training videos. Xero has rapidly changed in the past few years, so sometimes the pictures that are used are old screenshots or overseas versions. Where possible, each session is followed up by a live demonstration. If you have any queries regarding any content delivered today, feel free to contact me via email, victoria@hbaencompass.com.au or phone 0754 44 7094.
Welcome to Setting Up Payment Services.
Who wouldn't like to be paid quicker? I think we all would. So setting up payment services allows our customers to click through our invoices and pay us online. As I said here, you send your customer an invoice, they can access it online and pay it straight away by picking on the nice big green Pay Now button. So the first thing we need to do is actually add a payment services to our Xero. But even before that, you might want to have a look at what the payment services are and do some research into the fees and charges that each of them have. And from there, you need to actually subscribe to a payment service before you can add your invoices to Xero. Payment services we'll get to in a sec, but the most common that are there are PayPal and Stripe. There is also an Australian company called eWay, which does exactly the same thing. We looked at eWay ourselves here at HBA Encompass, and you actually need to have an online merchant facility for eWay to log into. So you need to look at the logistics of actually setting this up, and I think that PayPal and Stripe are a much easier, straightforward process to do that. So assuming you have a payment service set up, the first thing we need to do is you can either access it from the Getting Started panel or you go to Settings and Payment Services. Okay, so as we said here, Settings, General Settings, Invoice Settings, and Payment Services. So it's a bit of a mission to get there. We did mention these a few weeks ago when we were talking about invoice branding, but I suppose just went over the top of it and explained that they were there. So we click on the Payment Services, and you can see here there's a list. So I mentioned eWay, PayPal and Stripe. There's also Authorise.net, DPS, and Go Cardless. Well, that looks like it's only in Great Britain only. So pick the one that you want to use, and then you actually go in and there'll be a drop-down menu depending on the payment service that you use, and you need to fill in your details. So the name, the email. Then we go in and we click it to whichever invoice theme we're going to use. So we mentioned invoice themes a couple of weeks ago where you could have different branding on your invoices. So you want to make sure that you actually click it to the invoice theme that you're using day to day. If you have different businesses operating out of one bank account or one entity where you have different invoices, different logos, you'll need to attach this to all of them. And you can see here that at the moment the standard invoice doesn't have a service assigned, so we just click on that and hit save. So what actually happens there is that the Pay Now button is enabled for your clients. So when you send an invoice to someone, the best way to do it, as we know when you go in to create an invoice, we can email an invoice and it gives you a drop-down box and you can tick a button there that says attach a PDF. The trick here is not to attach the PDF. If they get a PDF, then they print it or do whatever they do with it in the normal way they deal with their accounts payable. And it doesn't give you that electronic Pay Now button. If you don't attach the PDF and they need to click here to view their invoice, when they view their invoice, it comes up with all your branding and your logos, but the big fat Pay Now button in the top right-hand corner. So if they then click on the Pay Now button, it will take you through to a payment platform where they can put their credit card details and you can get paid quicker. So you can do that for invoices, and you can do it for reminders of invoices, it doesn't, to the best of my knowledge, show up on statements, which is a bit of a bugger, because it would be handy if you sent an outstanding statement to someone to give them a friendly nudge, but you won't have that Pay Now feature with statements, to the best of my knowledge. The other thing from the invoice settings is the payment services. As with everything Xero, anything that's blue, you can find more details. So the payment services that they support at the moment are eWay, CheckKeeper, PayPal, PIN payments, DPS, Chargeify, TransferMate, PayPal by Zapier, CheckVault. There's a whole heap of them. EasyDebit is the other one. So EasyDebit's an Australian company. I think it's owned by PayPal now, but it is an Australian company to start with. So it's a matter of working out from each of these add-ons which one suits you. And if you want more details, you can actually click on visit their website, which opens up a new tab and gives you all their details, and you can go through from there. You can check their pricing or whatever it is. So it's up to you to make your own details about or suggestions about it. As I mentioned, we pick whichever one we're going to use. We hit Stripe, we pick the accounts we're going to do. We pick the bank account that it goes into. We connect to Stripe. And then you need to go in and sign into your Stripe account. So as I mentioned before, you need to have the payment services set up before you go and add this to your invoice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to approve this. And I'm going to just print the PDF to show you the actual details that come up with the Pay Now. Now this is a demo version, so I'm not sure if the actual payment service will work, but we'll have a look. So you can see here we've got the details, the Pay Online Now, and I click on it. And it comes up with the PayPal details, so then someone can go in and pay their credit card and the details, which I'm sure you've all seen when you've been purchasing things online from time to time. Well, what it does then is it puts you on the other end of the line where you're actually taking the payments. So it is quite an easy process, but as long as they click on it, they can do it that way with the PDF, or if you don't attach the invoice, if I hit email here, I can either include a PDF or not include a PDF, so I wouldn't click it, because what you can see here is it says view and pay your bill online, and there's a link, so it'll go blue, they click on it, it comes up to the screen with their invoice with the nice big fat Pay Now button in the top left hand side. My name's Victoria Berry. I'm one of the directors of HBA Encompass, so if you need to contact me, my email address is victoria@hbaencompass.com.au, or of course our phone number is 0754 44 7094. Thanks for listening.